Okay, this video is to get you started on the assignment called Calculate Return on Investment. And this is the assignment that we typically do after we play the Cashflow game. Alright, and it's just a follow-up, and it's learning what ROI means and learning how to calculate ROI, Return on Investment. Alright, so as it says here, it says using Excel and my example. If I look down here, I've got an example to get it started. Calculate the ROI for the following potential investments. So we're going to have 6 different investments because 7 just says to highlight. So 6 different scenarios. And as you see down here, we've got 1, 2, 3, and then it'll be 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now I started typing this here. Well, first of all, how do you start Excel? Make sure you're using your desktop version because it has more features. And I type in here EXC, and there's Excel. Go ahead and open it up. And I already have it open. I'm going to click on my tab. So once you open it up and it's blank, go ahead and type this in, total investment, in A2, A3, A4, type in these, and then do get a double-headed arrow here and double click, and that'll widen that column, auto wide, so that the longest item in this column, this will be widened to. Alright, so pause the video here, do that, type those in and widen the column. Go ahead and pause it and do that, and then come back, then restart it. Okay, now step 2 is to get this guy started. So let's take a look at what the instruction says. First of all, we're going to put a number 1 there, but the total investment. So it says we purchased 100 shares of stock at $30 a share. So we drew that one of those opportunity cards, and this is a small deal card. And it said so anyway, you expect to sell this maybe within 10 turns or 5 turns, and you consider it within a year's time. You expect to sell it at $36 a share. So let's calculate the ROI based on these numbers. If you buy it at $30 a share and you sell it at $36 a share, that's $6 of a gain per share. And 6 times 100 shares is $600. So you're expecting your original $300, $3,000, because 30 times 100 is 3,000, to turn into $3,600, which would be a $600 gain. All right, let's go do the calculation for ROI. So I'm going to go to my Excel, and here's what we're going to type in. First, we're going to say this is scenario number 1. Okay, and don't worry, we'll format it in just a minute. I should have this guy turned on my pin. I'm going to click the little pin. That means keep the ribbon down. If you ever want to get rid of this and hide the ribbon, you just click the arrow right here. It hides it. But then to get it back, you've got to click on one of these rows or one of these pull-down menus. Click the little pin, and that sticks it. So now we can actually see it all the time. All right, got a number 1 in there. Total investment. We said the investment was equals. I'm going to do the let Excel act as a calculator for me. And so I type in equals to tell Excel that I want to do a calculation in this cell and make it act like a calculator. So I hit equals. It was $30, the original price that we're buying it, times, use the star key, 100 shares. And then when I hit enter, it turns into 3. Now I click back on that without double clicking. If I just click once, it shows me up here in the formula bar what the formula is. If I double click, it goes into edit mode, and it shows me as well. How do you get out of edit mode? You either hit escape on your keyboard or just hit enter. I like to hit escape. Now, if I just type that in, then you've got to hit enter for it to accept. So the first time when you type it, you have to hit enter. All right, so that's our total investment. Expected monthly cash flow. In this problem, we don't have an expected monthly cash flow. Let's go back and I'm going to show you. This example I'm doing here, number 1, is for you to do number 2 and 3. You're going to do number 2 and 3 just like number 1, because both of these we say in 1 year we expect this. In this one, the CD will be worth $5,300 in 1 year. And in this one, 400 shares of stock, again, or mutual fund, and you expect it to be in 1 year. So the example I'm doing for number 1 is for number 2 and 3, and then I'm going to do an example for number 4, which is it says it will produce a positive cash flow of $150 a month. Then look at this one, positive cash flow of $800 a month, and this one $700 a month. So these three, then I'm going to do number 4 for you, and then I'm going to let you do number 5 and 6 because these are done exactly like number 4 with just different numbers in there. So I'm going to do number 1 and number 4. Okay, so number 1, we're not going to do monthly, we're going to do annual. And we just said, so we're going to look at expected annual, use this one, and leave that first one, this one blank. And we expect it to be this formula, equals a $6 gain times the 100 shares. So it's 600. So our stock increased from 3,000 up to 3,600. So what was the expected cash flow, meaning the gain on your money? 600. And now this guy, we're going to do a formula as well. We're going to say equals, click equals on your keyboard, click on this one, and then a divided by sign, which would be right next to your lower right shift key, the question mark key, the same key, divided by 3,000. So you say the expected earnings on your investment divided by your original investment. Now when I hit enter, okay, good. Now let's make ours look like this. See how it's formatted nicely? First we'll center the top one, and then we'll put in dollar signs and make this one a percent. So you should probably pause first and follow the steps that I just did. Pause it. And then start it again here, and I'm going to show you how to format. So this one just needs to be simply centered. And I think it's bolded. I'm okay if you don't bold it, but anyway. This one needs to be, I'm going to highlight both of these. Notice if you use the big plus, be careful. If you grab it by the edge, it's copying and moving it. We don't want that. So whenever you select or highlighting more than one cell in Excel, make sure you have the big plus and you're in the middle of the cell. Click, hold, and drag. Now I'm highlighting and I can format more than one cell. I hit the dollar sign. There we go. That looks good. I like having the cents on there. And this needs to be percent formatted. Now what if you wanted to see a decimal place? Then just increase it or decrease it depending on what you want. I'm going to increase it by 1 because some of these calculations won't be rounded nice and even. Okay, go ahead and pause, get that all finished. And now we're going to go to step 3. You're going to do number 2 and you're going to do number 3. So actually I'm going to just highlight this entire row and do a center because I want those all to be centered, everything in this row. So I went ahead and clicked over here on the number 1 with a forward arrow, and that highlights the entire row. See that? I could do the same thing here. I don't know if, let's see if we try that. And it's okay if total investment moved a little bit, but now these guys are all formatted with the dollar sign. I could have just gone like this and format, and then everything I type into these guys is going to be a dollar sign format. I can also drag this and get the percentage sign turned on and increase the decimal by 1. Now they're all formatted properly. Alright, you're going to do number 2 and 3 just like I did number 1. Number 2 starts off with you put $5,000 into a 1-year CD. Oh, we don't even have to do the math like this one. 100 times 30. The original investment is $5,000. And so we put in 5,000. Alright, now remember, if it shows a pound sign for you, all you have to do is double click. All that means it's telling you that the cell is too narrow and it won't fit the number. It's only for numbers. Notice how words will spill over, numbers won't. So you can either drag it or you can just double click and it auto fits. Alright, now I'm moving on to number 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to do example 4 for you because that's the way you do 5 and 6. So number 4 says a 3-2 rental house requires a $10,000 down payment to purchase. That'll produce a positive cash flow of $150 a month. Okay, fair enough. So our original investment, $10,000. Okay, notice it auto fit. Again, if yours looks like that with the pound signs, double click. Okay, now expected monthly cash flow. I believe I said 160 or was it 150? Nope, 150. So I type in 150. Okay. Now I need to know what the annual cash flow is. Well, it's just this times 12, right? So I'm going to do a little formula here. Equals. Remember, you're telling Excel that you want it to act like a calculator. You have to put an equal sign. Click this, and then multiply by 12 months. And that means your return would be $1,800 per year on this investment of $10,000. Now let's do the same formula. Check this out. I could just do this. I can either do a copy, Control C, or right mouse click, copy, Control V, or right mouse click, paste. I like to do the Control V on my keyboard. It's a lot faster. Now there's even a faster way to do this. I can take, I'm going to hit escape to get rid of that copy. I can actually use this fill handle. Check that out. It's going to copy over that same formula. Notice, I'm going to click right here. D4 divided by T2. That's this one divided by this. This one says E4. This one, E4 divided by E2. Isn't that cool? So it automatically, who cares if you got you're going to have an error here because it's saying trying to divide nothing by nothing. So it gives you an error, but just leave it. Because once you put in the numbers up here, it'll fix itself. Okay? No worries. Same with this one. Once you put something here, that'll change. But it's a nifty way to just copy. Notice I had to get the little tiny plus, bottom right corner. You got to grab that little fill handle. And that's how you do it. And it copies the formula over for you. All right. So I got an 18% return on this one and a 20% return on this one. Which one's better? Obviously, the higher the more the return on my money, the better. So this is a better investment opportunity than this one. It's percentage-wise. Okay? And that's what we're looking for. Highest return. And then what you guys are going to do, I'm going to go way out here and just pretend that there's a number 7. You're going to select the highest amount because the last instruction here says highlight the column with the best return on investment. So it's basically like I'm your boss and I said, here's some scenarios. I want you to go calculate these in Excel and tell me which one is the highest return and make a report that's easy for me to read. So you want the boss to be able to easily identify which one is the highest. So you're going to highlight whichever one of these ends up having the biggest number right down here. You'll highlight by selecting and give it a color. Give it a fill. I like green, signifying money, but you can use whatever you'd like. Maybe orange, maybe nice light color so we can still read the text. All right, and so you're going to highlight it. You could even make it fancier if you want. You can find these styles up here. Have some fun with it. As Bob Ross would say, it's your world. Have some fun with it. All right. That's it. Then when you save it, you're going to save it as ROI calculation, and you're going to submit this file in your Schoology page. And I don't think I put that on here, but that's okay. All right.